Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League. The final round of Season 3 takes us to the Algarve International Circuit in Portimao in Portugal. With the Drivers' Championship wrapped up, there's still second place up for grabs between Lezard, who doesn't appear to be in the lobby at the moment, so that could throw the battle for second wide open, with Romans Republic, Dan Murphy and Don Argent still in the running for that. There's also the Teams Championship of all across three tiers in the Formula Racing League. Alpine leading on 741 points, Haas in second on 739, and Alfa Romeo in third on 702. They are the three teams realistically in the running for the title. Remember, it's 40 points for a race victory, 32 for second. The maximum number of points a team can score across all three tiers in one round is 222. Meanwhile, qualifying gets underway here at Portimao. We appear to only have 14 drivers at the moment, so it doesn't look as though we are going to be losing any drivers at the end of the session, unless any do crash out, of course. So this could well be used as a practice session for these guys before the real business does begin in Q2. We expect Smalley to be in the lobby very, very soon. Hopefully that will be before Q1 ends. If you have joined us in the chat, we do welcome you. Do make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel in case you haven't already done so, and do get involved in the chat if you ever so wish. Let me know how your day has been. Let me know how your week has been. It's been rather mixed conditions over in the UK. It's been obviously rainy in my area, most certainly yesterday and this morning. As we watch one of the Mercedes cars go out on the circuit, that looks like Samham, who's going out on track, so we'll ride on board with him. What could we expect to see from him during the course of this session? He is a reserve driver that's been called in, and there are rumours going around that the Formula Racing League could revert to just two tiers for Season 4. This is to help make sure that we've got full grids for each round, because there have been at times during the course of the campaign where we have been something like 5 or 6 drivers short during some weeks. If you are someone who's wishing to get involved, there is the Formula Racing League Discord. Alternatively, you can contact me if you wish. So that Liverpool Fun and Soft Art are not going out on track. They're going to remain in the pits. We've got 4 drivers out on circuit. Samham is one of them. We've got Pimis, Romans Republic and Paskov out on track as well. So Sam beginning his lap now. So one of the Williams has had on circuit. That is Mikey, otherwise known as SpongeBob on the graphic. So Sam coming into turn 3. It's a tricky one to brake for turn 3 because you're only just going through turn 2. And as you go past, you need to brake in a straight line and make sure you get through the corner without missing the apex. Sam's doing okay though on this lap. Coming into turn 7, he decelerates before he brakes and drops down to 4th gear. The undulation of this racetrack just feels amazing. Of course, there is the new circuit of Imola that was released last week. I think that's already been added to the calendar. I'm not sure if it has for certain, but we can run through the Season 4 calendar at the moment whilst we watch some drivers go out on track. So Sam over the line with 1 minute 18.3. with Romans Republic beating that by half a second, going to 1 minute 17.8. He set some decent times, actually did Romans Republic in the practice session before tonight's event begun. Mikey's exceeded track limit somewhere. Pimis over the line for Red Bull in the Honda Farewell livery. He goes second with a 1 minute 17.9. Pimis, who won the season, or won the Tier 2 championship in Season 1. After that brilliant cycle decider at Monza involving him, Infinite Glory, and Jay Hamster. I'm still trying to find the calendar for next season, which is taking some age for me to actually find, so this may take a bit of time for me to actually find it. If anyone has the calendar for next season, then do please let me know, as it is within my rights to know. Of course, there has been the news last week of Formula One's calendar for 2022. And Imola will be featured as a permanent round on the calendar. Miami has also been added, so I'm sure the drivers of tonight will be thinking about the Miami circuit for next year's game. Imola replacing Shanghai on the calendar. Portimao does not have a place on the calendar, bearing in mind it is only provisional at this moment of time. But closer to the time, should any racetrack have to either postpone or cancel, Portimao would of course be waiting in the wings to serve a Grand Prix for the third successive year. And it seems to be a driver's circuit. They all seem to like this type of racetrack, which is good to see. So here's Leffy in the Haas. Now Leffy was only 15th in the championship. He did arrive in late this season. He's on 48 points. He didn't race last week though in Azerbaijan. Leffy's best result has been a third place finish at the round before. I believe it was Mexico City he got that podium at. No, it was Singapore. My apologies. But either way, Leffy goes over the line. Well, he may have got third place in Mexico City. If he goes up to fifth with a 1 minute 18.4. Becco improves. It's a 1 minute 17.6 for him. Paskov is out on track. Mikey is as well. So he's coming through turn 14. It's a clockwise circuit, is this 4.6 kilometre Portimao track. 6 to the left and 9 to the right. Rearing open on Mikey's car, and it's a 1 minute 18.0, and only good enough for fifth at the moment. Sachs' lap has been invalidated, so he'll have to go again if that's what he wants to do. Paskov, meanwhile, is coming through in the Aston Martin, and I believe now we have got 16 drivers in the lobby, which means we will lose a driver at the end of this one. It looks to be potentially Dan Murphy. He normally starts at the back of the grid anyway, so it's a loss that's not really. Here's De Rudiger in the McLaren. He's shown some strong pace since he joined the league earlier this season. De Rudiger, who finished fifth last time out in Baku. A penalty dropped him back down the order from his position on the road. I'm sure he wants to end this season in a blaze of glory. A blaze of glory, I should say. My English nearly went out of the window there. But De Rudiger is coming round turn 14 with 9 minutes to go. One more corner to get through this turn 15 banking. Incredible part of the racetrack, and de Ridder taking the shorter route to the line, which is not a bad part of the racetrack to go through, and that explains the lap time he's just put in. 1 minute 16.5 there for de Ridder. Zak has exceeded track limits again, so he'll have to probably go back into the pits to get another set of tyres on. Here's Pimis in the Red Bull, coming towards turns 10 and 11. He's less than a couple of hundredths down from before, but he knows that there's still time to be found in the remainder of this session. So Pimis over the line, and he actually does improve his time. He goes 4 for 1 minute 17.8. And Lepi is able to improve his time by quite some margin, 1 minute 17.6. So he displaces Pimis. Don Argent is on a lap, and so is Bowie in the Alfa Romeo. Poskov looking to improve through sector 2. He's a tenth and a half away from what he was setting before. We'll go to Don Argent because he hasn't yet. And de Ridder's back in the pits, and he's chosen to retire. Don Argent coming round turn 15 onto the pit straight, and this will be a 1 minute 17.3. This is good enough for him for the time being. Bowie over the line for Alfa Romeo. It's a 1:18 dead, only good enough for 9th. So he'll be looking for an improvement during the course of this qualifying session. So Big Boss Bells has yet to come out of the pits. Zak is out on track. Can't tell if that's an old set of softs. It is his old set of softs, which is probably wise of him to do that. He just wants to get a time on the board. And Barry's slowing down. He wants to conserve his ERS for either for another run or when he does make it through to Q2. Big Boss Bells making his way out onto the racetrack now. So Zak will be coming round to begin a lap, providing he keeps his car within the limits this time. What can the Red Bull pilot do here? Rear wing open, and so he begins a flying lap. So through turn 1, no problem. Turn 3 was okay. What's he like through 4? Keeps his car within the limits there. 22.5 by sector 1. And Zak nearly losing it coming out of turn 8, but kept his car pointing the right way. Now at the moment, Big Boss Bells is the man in the drop zone in 16th place on the graphic. He's almost coming around to start a lap now, is the Alpine driver. So Zak coming round for Red Bull. Where is this going to put him here? Probably put him in the 1 minute 18, so I would reckon. It's a 1 minute 18.8, and that's the slowest of all the times so far. Mikey in the Williams is coming through. His ERS has run out though. At least he'll improve his time, 1 minute 17.2. Got Bowie next, who improved through sector 2 by 6 hundredths. He's run out of fuel by the looks of things, and he only goes 10th. He remains 10th with him crossing over the line. Big Boss Bells through turn 8. And Smalley's still not in at the moment, so it's expected he will start at the back of the grid like he did so in Azerbaijan last week. He didn't mind the challenge though, bearing in mind he's already wrapped up the title. And it's understood that he will not remain as a full-time driver for next season, only dropping down to a reserve. So we could be seeing a new world champion next season, as Lizard is not expected to be around either. Big Boss Balls goes second with 1 minute 17.0. And Zach's lost his front wing somewhere, so that'll be him heading back to the pits. He's actually lucky to remain on circuit, because otherwise, had he crashed out, that would have been it for him in qualifying. So Mikey coming round back to the pits. Paskov has exceeded track limits again. And Mikey's retired in the pits, and I imagine Barry will do the same. So at the end of Q1, it'll be Rudiger that will be P1, with Big Boss Bell second on a 1:17.0, half a second adrift. Paskov third, and the driver we will lose at the end of qualifying 1 will be Dan Murphy. Paskov continuing to go around and do another lap. I'm actually surprised he's remain out there on those soft compound tyres. Perhaps he just wanted to get as much mileage as he can. But Big Boss Bells is coming in now. Doesn't appear to be any rain at the moment. I'd be keen to know if there is going to be any rain. If one of the drivers can inform me on the stream. Odo's coming in saying hi. Hello to you, sir. Now I think Paskov will be making his way back into the pits at the end of this lap. You can see his fuel gauge is running very low. So Paskov looking quick at the moment. And crossing over the line now, where he's going into the pits actually, and breaking through the polystyrene board, which is not the best thing to be doing. Bits of polystyrene blown everywhere, including into the Mercedes garage. So Paskov into the pits. And that is his Q1 session over. He is third fastest. So just wait for the clock to tick 0 and we'll run down on the times and who is eliminated at the end of this session. Well, some drivers didn't set a lap time, but the driver who is eliminated at the end of Q1 is Dan Murphy. So the top 15 go through to Q2. We'll be back in a moment for the next session. Welcome back. I've just seen that Sausage Joe has decided to opt out of Q2, so he'll be eliminated at the end of qualifying, unless the others decide to not set lap times. Just seeing one of the Mercedes cars heading out on track. Now, Don Argent's gone out on a set of softs, which is interesting. I think with the expectancy of rain, I think after the first 30 minutes of the race, according to what Rome's Republic has had to say to me, it may well be that the soft tyre is the best tyre to be on for the opening stint, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. So who else has gone out on track? Well, Pimis has gone out on a set of softs as well in the Red Bull. You can see an Aston Martin on track now. That is Paskov on a set of mediums. And then behind him is a McLaren of Liverpool fan. He's just dropped in the chat to say hi. Hello to you. You can see the other Mercedes of Sam heading out. He's also gone on a set of mediums. So we'll be watching Don Argent come through. I think he wants to get this lap in, so it will save him having to come back out on track again. It'll be an interesting strategy with what Don Argent decides to do here. And so he begins his lap now. There's a couple of cars coming through turn one out of the pits. He should be okay though, is Don Argent. And they've both spun, and Becco has collided with Zach, and he's been given a 5-place grid penalty. Now, for Don Argent, he exceeded track limits, but part of it was because he had to take evasive action. So Becco has been penalised for it. I mean, to be honest, there is the alternate slip road on the right-hand side that feeds them into turn one, but they both could have gone through, but they didn't. So Pimis coming up behind Don Argent. He'll be backing off now to save ERS. We should have at least one or two getting through on the mediums. Who it will be remains in question. So Pimis in the Red Bull coming through turn 13, the left-hander before the hairpin of 14. And then a smooth right corner. And he's exceeded track limits. And not only will he exceed track limits there, that'll be the next lap invalidated as well. So we'll go to Paskov next. I believe it's Paskov. Yeah, it'll be Paskov next, who's on the medium compound. So the coming through turn 14. Onto the pit straight. And this lap time of Paskov is a 1:17.1. What about Liverpool fan? 1:17.9 for him on the softs. So he's got quite a lot of ground to make up from there as a Liverpool fan. Now Sam is next in the Mercedes. Can he keep his car within the limits of the racetrack? The answer is yes. His ERS is going to run out before the line, so he may lose some horsepower before he crosses over the line now. And on the mediums, 1:18.1. That's not enough for him. He needs to go again. Use the next lap to recharge the battery and go again. And this won't be improving his time, but Don Argent should be able to get a time on the board with the lap he's on right now. So the Mercedes coming through. And this lap time of his, well, he's going into the pit lane actually, so is he going to try and maybe go onto a set of mediums? Well, Becco's on P2 on a 1:17.8. He goes in front of Leppy, who's third on a 1:17.8 on the mediums. We've got Zach over the line, 1:18.9 on the mediums as well. Mikey on the mediums in the Williams. 1:17.3 goes P2 with that. Big Boss Bells has started the flying lap. Pimis has exceeded track limits on the exit of the last corner, so he won't be setting the lap time for a few minutes or so. And it looks like Big Boss Bell's just moved out of the way of... I couldn't quite tell who it was he was letting through that. That may have been a Williams of Mikey, who's just gone through ahead of him. Well, Bowy's just started the lap. Big Boss Bells is on a lap. And Zach going quicker than before through Sector 1. How much time has he found so far in Sector 2? It's not too bad of a line there through turn 11. He's lost time actually as Zach, so he will not be improving his lap time, I doubt. Becco in the Aston Martin. Is this going to be good enough to see him improve his time? He does improve his time, but only by just over 1.5 tenths. And he remains in P3. So, Big Boss Bells, what is he going to come up with here as he's behind the Williams of Mikey? He might get a tow from him if he's lucky enough. Mikey goes in the pits. Big Boss Bells over the line. It's an unrepresentative 1 minute 27.6, so he'll most certainly be going again. Here's Berry in the Alfa Romeo. 1 minute 17 is what he ideally needs on the mediums, but it doesn't look as though he's going to be setting at 1 minute 17. 1 minute 18.4. Only 8 for him. Here's De Rudiger in the McLaren. It's no surprise to see him on the mediums, given his pace that we've seen from him in the past. In the number 3 McLaren. Through turn 14. So, I'd imagine he's going to be in the 1 minute 17s with this one. Or maybe even quicker than that. Here's a 1 minute 17.3. Only third. As Becco goes P2 with a 1 minute 17.2. Argent's gone out circuit on the mediums. There's Big Boss Bells coming through. Zach has gone 9th fastest on the 1 minute 18.3. Big Boss Bells will displace him for sure here, providing he keeps his car within the limits before he crosses over the finish line. And his lap time is a 1 minute 17.7, but he only goes 6th with that. So Big Boss Bells on the bubble, I would say, at the moment. Now here's Argent in the Mercedes. I want to see what Berry's doing at the moment. He's on a cool down lap, so we'll go back to Argent. By Sector 2, he has posted a 52.3. There's Liverpool Fun ahead of him. He needs to be aware that he's coming up behind him. So Argent may be able to get a tow off the McLaren. So Argent in the Mercedes. Crosses over the line now, and it's 1:17.5. And he goes in front of Rome's Republic into 5th place. Here is Pimis on a set of the soft compounds. In 15th place at the moment with no time on the board. Safdar is also still in the pits for Ferrari. Alex coming in saying, hey Tom. Hello to you, Alex. Just 3 drivers out on circuit at the moment. Just seen Liverpool Fan go. Has he gone for a spin? No, I think it's just letting other cars through. We'll do the same with Pimis. I wonder if Don Argent is still going on another lap. He's not actually, so we'll go back to Pimis. In Sector 3, there was a yellow flag there, but it's gone away very quickly. So Pimis in the Red Bull. It's a 1 minute 17.3, and it's only good enough for P4. So wait and see what the others decide to do. Liverpool Fan crosses over the line to start a flying lap now in the McLaren. It's nearly not getting out of the way in time there. So let's see what Liverpool fan can do here. What is his time like through Sector 1? 2 tenths up from before, actually, so this is actually a decent lap that Liverpool fan is setting. Didn't quite see what Don Arjun was doing on his lap. His fuel gauge is not low, so he could well be on a flying lap. Let's see what his time in Sector 2 is like. He's exceeded track limit, so he may as well back out of it. Liverpool fan is coming up behind. Going through Sector 2 now. He's 4 tenths up from before, so this is looking like a decent lap here for Liverpool fan to move him further away from danger. Could go ahead of Arjun with this lap. If he does so, Arjun could well be in a spot of bother. So Liverpool fan in the McLaren over the line. It's a 1:17.4, and he does displace Arjun and goes up to 6th position. Pimmins makes his way into the pit lane now. There are drivers on outlets at the moment. Berry is one of them. He's currently in 13th. Safdar's not made it out on track yet. I don't know if he will be. If he's not, then he'll be joining Sausage Joe on the sidelines and 3 other drivers. Berry is one of them provisionally, but that could still change. So here's the man from Bristol going through turn 2 and 3. And now he's all slides his way through turn 4 without an issue. And he's 2 tenths up from before is Jack, so it's a good start, but he needs to find at least 6 tenths, I would say, to give himself any hope of advancing into Q3. Big Boss Wells, I have to say, he's someone on the cusp at the moment in the Alpine in 9th. He's out on track at the moment. Berry's got no one to worry about at the moment. The next man in front of him is Liverpool fan, who's just gone through turn 14, so Jack has got a clean run to the line from here on in. 6 tenths up from before by Sector 2, so this is looking like a really good lap at the moment for Jack. Can he find any more time in the last sector? He goes through turn 14 now. And Berry heading towards the line in the Alfa Romeo. It's a 1:17.6. He goes 9th, so he's giving himself a chance now as Jack. Sam next up in the Mercedes. Didn't quite see his sector time, so we can only assume he's going faster than before. He is going faster than before. He goes up to 6th place with 1:17.4. Zach has exceeded track limits on his lap, so he'll have to go again. Big Boss Bells has just started his final effort now. So he's in the drop zone at the moment, is Big Boss Bells. He's exceeded track limits though at turn 2, so that may be the killer blow. That may seal his fate in qualifying, unless he can get round in time to start another lap. He's got 1 minute to do it. He's got enough time, but he can't afford to be slowing down too much. Permis is crossing over the line to start a flying lap now. So Zach in the Red Bull, nearly losing it actually. He was lucky to keep his car within the track limits also on the exit of that corner. Now, Alex is coming and saying there's strict settings with the assists. Not too sure, to be honest with you. There may be a few assists that the FRL allows, but not too many. Going back to the action, Zach on a 1:18.3 on his last effort. He needs to improve that by quite some margin to give himself any hope of making it through into Q3. Zach over the line now, and it's a 1:17.6, and he goes 10th. So Zach does give himself some hope. Big Boss Bells crosses over the line to start one final lap. He did get over the line before the checkered flag. So Leppy is out of qualifying. He's not going through. Neither is Sausage Joe or Safdar. So 2 places remain. Jack Berry on a faster lap than before through Sector 1. How is Big Boss Bells getting on in the Alpine? 3 tenths up from before. It's looking good for him. Argent's in the pits at the moment. He's not able to improve. He's in danger at the moment. Zach is going for a fast lap. in the Red Bull. So Don Argent could fall to as low as 12th place on the grid if Zach, Berry and Big Boss Bells continue to find time. We'll go to Berry first because he'll be the next one over the line through turn 13. We didn't see his second sector time, so we can only assume he's going faster. Exiting turn 14 and through 15 now. Berry needs to beat a 1 minute 17.6 in order to get through here. It's a 1:17.3, that's good. We'll go to Zach next in the Rebel, who did improve through sector 2. He proves his time, but not out of danger. He's out. Big Boss Bells makes it through, though. So Don Argent has not been able to make it through on the mediums. And Zach has been given a grid drop as well for his collision with Becco, so both of them will be falling back on the grid anyway. So at the end of that, Big Boss Bells was fastest, but the 5 drivers we lose at the end of qualifying 2 are Don Argent, Zach, Leppy, Joe and Safdart. Zach will move back 5 positions on the grid for his antics with Becco. And wherever Becco ends up, he'll move back 5 positions on the grid as well. The drivers who got through on the mediums, they are Paskov, Mikey and De Rudiger. Big Boss Bells topping the session with that last effort. We'll be right back for Q3 to find out who will line up on pole position. So Don Argent just coming in saying that he had set 2 purple sectors on his second flying lap, but went 1 pixel on the white line and invalidated the lap time. Well, he's got a chance in the race, and at least he's got a free choice of tyre to start the race on. Bearing in mind, it could end up raining at some point during the Grand Prix. You can see a flurry of activity in the pit lane as Romans Republic enters the track first. And then we see De Rudiger next, followed by Mikey in the Williams. And then we'll be seeing a Red Bull and an Aston Martin making their way out on track in a few seconds' time. So Romans Republic has a good chance to finish second in the championship, with Lezard potentially not racing tonight. All Romans Republic needs to do is to score 13 points. Now, in order to do that, he would need to finish, I would say, at least 8th in the race in order to leapfrog Lezard into second place in the championship. That's if Dan Murphy does not finish a few positions above him, and it's the same with Argent, to be quite honest with you, but we'll find out as the race goes on anyway. And the Mercedes of Sam is heading out on track. Jack is not entering the track yet, so 9 of the 10 drivers are on track right now. As we see Romans Republic heading through in the Haas. And he'll begin his lap now. Can he put himself in the top 3 on the grid? Possibly. It's doable. It's very doable. And he's exceeded track limits on the exit of turn 4, so that's his lap over. We'll go to De Rudiger next, who will ideally want to be in the high 21s. And he is so. 21.7 for De Rudiger. So De Rudiger coming towards sector 2, takes a wide line into 11, which is the right line to go through. It's a 51.2 by sector 2. So Berry's made his way out on track now, so all 10 drivers are on circuit. So Derudiger through 15. There is an Alpine ahead of him. He's gone back into the pit lane. That'll be Big Balls Bells. Derudiger goes over the line to post a 1:16.2. We'll go to Mikey next in the Williams. It's a 1:17.0. Does not displace Derudiger. Pimis goes third on a 1:17.1. And then we'll see Becco over the line with an invalidated lap, so he won't be moving up the order. Liverpool fan next in the other McLaren. Could he maybe get onto the front row next to his teammate? I don't think he will do with this one. 1:17.4 for him. And we can see Paskov over the line for Aston Martin. It's a 1:16.8. It's a decent lap time for him. He goes up to P2 with that. Jack Berry's out on track. He's about to start a lap now, but his good friend Sam is coming through turn 13 before he gets through the hairpin of 14. And then another right-hander of 15 before he closes the lap. So Sam in the Mercedes crosses over the line for 1:17.5. He only goes 6th fastest. Here's Roman's Republic. He'll be crossing over the line now for Haas. 1:16.8, just misses out on the front row. But it's a decent lap time there from Roman's Republic, and I think there's definitely more to come from him. Here's Becco in the Aston Martin. Second time lucky with his lap. It's a 1:17.3. Goes 6th with that. So it's a good effort from him. Who else is on a flying lap, I wonder? Well, we know Bowie is. He's just going through sector 2 now. It's a 51.8. It's a decent time by this stage. He's almost on par with Derudiger with that one, actually, is Jack. So could we well be seeing Jack Bowie in the top 5 on the grid here tonight? It's coming through now. This is looking like a very strong effort here from Jack. 1:17.0 goes 4th. That's a very good time there from Jack. So he's giving himself some hope of finishing 3rd in the championship tonight. Now Jack Bowie cannot finish 2nd mathematically, even with Lezard not racing tonight. But he could still finish 3rd, but he would need to finish at least 2nd in the race to give himself any hope. Becco's on an improvement in the Aston Martin. He's run wide through turn 14, so I think he may be coming back into the pits at the end of this lap, actually. He's run out of ERS. So he makes his way in. I'd imagine Jack will be on his way back into the pit lane. We've got less than 6 minutes remaining in Q3. So just wait for the drivers to decide when is the best time to be heading out on track. What they could do is head out on circuit now, get a flying lap in there, then a cool down lap to burn off some more fuel, and then go for a last attempt, providing they do get over the line before the checker flag falls to begin their last efforts. Well, we can see Pimis heading out on track by the looks of things. He wants to get this final run done and out of the way. So Pimis going into this race 8th in the championship on 92 points. He could mathematically finish above Don Argent. That's if Pimis was to win the race. And for Don Argent not to score at all. But Pimis could leapfrog Bowie and Liverpool fan into 6th if he's lucky enough. So Pimis in 6th place on a 1:17.1. He hopes to improve that by the time he completes his next flying lap. You can see more cars heading out on track now. We've got 6 entering the track, as you can see. Paskov heading out on circuit now. Pimis will want to get over past the pit straight before any others do make their way onto the racetrack. Here we go then. Pimis over the line. Start what could be his last attempt. Through turn 1. Nice and easy. No problem. He brakes and veers to the right a little bit to make sure he turns into 3. Spot on. Turn 4 is no problem for him. He's a tenth down by sector 1 from what he had posted before, so he's got some work to do in the remainder of the lap. We'll go to Sam very shortly to see how he is getting on through sector 1. He's half a tenth up from before, so it's looking like a decent time that Sam is producing, definitely better than what he produced beforehand. Pimis going through turns 10 and 11. And he's nearly 2 tenths down from before, so it's not looking like a good lap here for Pimis, unfortunately. He's got time to recharge the battery and go again before the checker flag falls. And he's got an opportunity to burn off some fuel if he wishes to do so. So Pimis coming through. He decides to duck into the pits, and I think that's session over for him. Sam 3 tenths up from before by sector 2. He's on course, I would say, to get into a 1 minute 17.1, unless he can find some time in the last sector. And it's a 1:16.9, goes fourth. Decent lap time there from Sam. That's much better from him. Romans Republic is next in the Haas, third fastest at the moment. Only a fraction quicker from what he posted before by sector 2. Duridiger's not going out on track. He thinks he's done enough. Romans Republic over the line. He goes to the front row with a 1:16.7. So he beats Paskov, who's had his current lap time invalidated. Becco over the line for Aston Martin. He improves his time, but not in race position, or grid position, I should say. Mikey starts his final attempt. I wonder if Romans Republic may be going for another effort. I think he's going to use this lap to recharge the battery and go again, providing he's got enough time to get over the line in time, which he does have time to do that. Paskov will have time to recharge the battery and go again, but he's only got 1 minute and 20 seconds before the checker flag falls. Mikey's on a fast lap through sector 1. 700s up from before. And I think Pimis may just miss the cut, but he'll do very well to beat the line before the checker flag falls. It looks like Paskov has got off the track there. Yeah, he's lost his front wing, and that loses him the chance of going for pole position. I just hope he does not impede any of the other drivers whilst he's on his fast lap. Now, Romans Republic will get over the line to start one more attempt. Becco likewise. And see Mikey coming through now in the Williams. On course to improve his time. And it'll be a 1 minute 16.6. He goes to the front row with that. Excellent lap time there from Mikey. Brilliant lap. Who else is next over the line? Well, Liverpool Fun's on an improvement from before. A 10th up by sector 2. He's pretty much in a battle with Pimis and Becco right now. Liverpool Fun gets over the line right now. Can Pimis get over the line? Liverpool does improve his time, but does not change his position. Pimis just misses the line there before the checker flag, so he's not going to improve his time, unfortunately. Missed out by less than a second, unfortunately. That's such a shame. Berry will not improve his time either. He's lost too much time through the whole of the lap and will only go P7. Big Boss Bell's up to 6th with his latest lap time. Becco 8 thousandths of a second down from sector 2. Mikey's not on a fast lap, so only Becco or Liverpool Fan can deprive de Rudiger of pole position, but there's no way they'll do it. They're just too far behind. But we'll see how Becco gets on here in the Aston Martin. And it's a 1:17.1. He improves his time but remains in 9th place. So Liverpool Fan is the last driver to cross over the line. He's got an Alpine in front of him, which he could maybe get a bit of a tow. And Big Boss Bells needs to be careful. He does not impede Liverpool Fun here. And Liverpool fan does go 10th. He did improve his lap time, but he stays in P10, just a couple of hundredths shy of Becco. So it's De Rudiger who's on pole position by less than 0.4 of a second from Mikey. And what a brilliant lap it was from the McLaren driver. Excellent stuff. And that's the championship point going to De Rudiger's total, taking his points tally to 47. Can he add 40 more points to it and conclude what's been a respectable campaign for De Rudiger, despite missing a lot of the season. So here's your top 10 then for the race. De Rudiger on pole, ahead of Mikey alongside. Then we've got Romans Republic and Paskov on row 2. Sam and Big Boss Bells make up the third row, with Berry and Pimis next behind on row 4. Becco will go back 5 positions on the grid for his collision with Zach in Q2, which means Liverpool fan will start in 9th position. And Don Argent in 10th spots on the grid, with Becco back in 14th. That was qualifying. We go on to the race. The last race of the season is coming up very, very shortly. So we're raring to go for round 11, the final round of this season for all tiers. Best of luck to all the drivers involved. Congratulations to Smalley on wrapping up the championship. I don't think he's got back in time for the race, to be honest with you, which is a shame. I'm sure the race will deliver just as good as what we have been seeing throughout the course of Season 3 in the Formula Racing League. So the drivers will be going off onto their formation lap. So we'll run down on the grid for the race and what tyres each driver is starting on. So De Rudiger goes on pole with Mikey alongside it. It's Romans Republic and Paskov. Sam and Big Boss Bells are next, followed by Berry and Pimis. Liverpool fan and Don Argent ran out the top 10. Leppy and Joe line up on row 6, ahead of Becco, who's in 13th place, ahead of Safdar, with Murphy and Zach running off the grid. So we don't have either of the top 2 in the championship involved tonight. So the battle for second place in the championship is very much up for grabs. And those starting on the mediums, they are De Rudiger, Mikey and Paskov, because they got through to Q3 on the mediums. Don Argent, Leppy, Safdar and Murphy are also starting on the mediums. The rest are all on the softs. And the question is as well, who will blink first when the weather does intervene? Because from what I've been told, 30 minutes after the start of the race, the rain is expected to fall. So if you have just joined us, we do welcome you. Do make sure you get involved in the live chat. We've had a few involved this evening coming in with hellos and how they've been getting on during qualifying. So strap yourselves in for a 33-lap Portuguese Grand Prix here in Portimao. The venue which hosted its first Grand Prix in 2020 and did so again this year. So 2 races and counting. It's currently off the calendar for 2022, but should one of the provisional circuits have to postpone or cancel, Portimao could well be coming in its place. So the car's coming back onto the grid now with De Rudiger in position, with Mikey alongside, and then we've got Romans Republic and Paskov waiting to pounce on the second row. We've got 16 drivers in for this last race in Tier 1 in the FRL. Could we end the season with a bang? So Zach just slotting into position, and we are ready to go. So the 5 red lights appear in front of the drivers here in Portugal. When they go out, we'll be racing for the last time in Season 3. It's lights out, and away we go. De Rudiger gets off the line very well, as does Mikey, who retains second place, and Romans Republic in third place. Sam has got ahead of Paskov into fourth position before they get into turn 1. So De Rudiger stays in the lead ahead of Mikey in second. We've got Romans Republic and Sam next up, followed by Paskov, who's dropped down a position. Don Argent up to 6th place already. Pimis fights back, but Don Argent's got back ahead of him. So Pimis has dropped down to 7th place with Big Boss Bells in 8th, Berry 9th. And Leppy rounding out your top 10 so far. The drivers getting through turn 5 now, and looks as though everyone has kept it clean throughout the first half of the lap so far. So De Rudiger pulling clear of the rest, but will it remain that way by the time the checker flag falls in around 45 minutes time? So Mikey keeping in touch with him. Romans Republic looking to make amends on the soft compounds as Paskov gets ahead of Sam on the exit of turn 12 to put himself back into 4th position. As Don Argent absolutely on fire at the start from 10th on the grid, has already got himself up into 6th place behind his teammate Sam. So I wonder if there's going to be any team orders down at the Mercedes camp. Will Sam let his teammate through to help him in his quest for the race victory today? Now, through all the races that Don Argent's been involved in this season, he's finished second a couple of times, but he hasn't won a race yet this season as someone's gone for a spin. It looks like Big Boss Bells has done in the Alpine and has fallen to the back of the field. So Big Boss Bells not having a good start to the last race of the season. And so De Rudiger stays in front with Mikey second, Romans Republic ahead of Paskov. And they've got the 2 Mercedes of Sam and Argent in 5th and 6th. So there's Murphy getting in front of Liverpool fan into 13th place. Safdar looking to follow through as well. He does so through turn 7 and 8. Liverpool fan leaves him enough space on the inside, and the Ferrari goes through. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of this one. There are 2 DRS zones on this track. There's one on the pit straight and one in between turns 4 and 5. So De Rudiger's reached out that 1 second margin already on Mikey. You can see the drivers in single file over the line. As you can see Joe line up Leppy for a pass. I doubt he'll do it through turn 1 from that far back. And so he waits behind for now as Joe picks up the first penalty of the race for track limits. 3 seconds that is for him. And now we can see Joe under pressure from Murphy. Safdar and Liverpool fan getting in as well. This is good close racing between these guys. Big Boss Bells will close up on them shortly. We know the pace that Big Boss Bells genuinely has. Now, as it stands with the current positions, Romans Republic will leapfrog Lizard into second place overall with a podium finish. He's right behind Mikey at the moment. He's within a second of him, so he'll be able to use the DRS on the pit straight. Is he going to be close enough to have a go, though? He's conserved a lot of his ERS for when he uses the DRS. He stays behind the Williams for now. Are we going to see any other position changes at the moment? Doesn't appear to be. Murphy thinking about a move on Joe. But no change there. So Juriga through turn 8. He's continuing to stretch out the margin. Nearly 2 seconds now. Romans Republic continuing to close in on Mikey. He needs to make sure he stays within the limits, otherwise he'll end up getting penalised, which is the last thing that Mikey and Romans Republic want. So Romans Republic is definitely within striking range to have a go on Mikey now. Here we go, look. DRS now open on the Haas, and Romans Republic will move up into P2 without a problem here. And it looks like Don Argent's going to get ahead of his teammate before turn 1 as well. So we're starting to see some overtakes being done. Now can Romans Republic pull away from Mikey as they continue to battle? Doridigo will pull out the margin that he's got at the moment even further. There's Berry in 8th place in the Alfa Romeo behind Pimis, as Paskov runs wide on the exit of turn 5. And Paskov nearly losing on the exit of turn 8. Won't want to be doing that too many times. That's going to allow Argent to close in on him. And Pimis is now ahead of Sam as well, so Pimis up to 6th place ahead of the other Merc. As Leppy continues to go after Beko. So Arjun behind Paskov in the battle for 4th position. I think Paskov may still have the DRS because he was still within a second of Mikey ahead. So Arjun's going to find it difficult to get in front of the Aston Martin on this occasion. Safdar with a new fastest lap as Joe comes into the pits. He's the first to come in for a change of tyres. He'll drop down to last place, but at least he'll have track position. And it's the medium tyres going on, so preempting the weather a little bit there. Mikey's been penalised though for track limits now. 3 seconds it is for him, which is not good news. There's Arjun behind Paskov. So Sam in the battle for 6th place. Long queue of cars now, so this is what we've been waiting for. So we're on lap 6 of the race. Juridiga's lead is nearly, well, it's now 3.5 seconds over Romans Republic, with Mikey in 3rd. There is Paskov in 4th place. And Juridiga posting a new fastest lap, 1:19.2. And now we can see Pimis under threat here from Sam. And Pimis is moving more than once, really. Not really supposed to be doing that. But Sam's got through anyway and into 6th place. There is Safdar just carrying on with his own race at the moment. He's on the medium compound, so he won't want to be risking too much. And someone's gone for a spin. It's Zach, who has damaged his front wing in the Red Bull on the exit of turn 4. So that'll be him off into the pits at the end of the lap. So Mikey in 3rd place, Pascal 4th and Arjun 5th. Now, when will Romans Republic decide to pit in? That's the question. And Zach receives a penalty now for track limits, so his race is going from bad to worse. He's going to have to hope for a safety car at some point during the event. He's into the pits now, without speeding in the pit lane. And Paskov remaining behind the Williams. So it really is going to come down to the back of the pit crew as Murphy gets in front of Leppy now for 10th place. He's got through without a problem, but Murphy's ERS is running out. So he's going to have to be more frugal from here on in with the ERS. So Mikey with the rear wing open now, closes in on the Haas as Sam comes in for his first pit stop. Mercedes crew out ready for him, and it's the medium tyres going on. He should rejoin ahead of Joe, who's only just going through turn 14 now. Four and a half seconds is the gap between Doridigo and Romans Republic, so Roman's tyres must surely be starting to wear away. He may be aware that Sam has just come in for a pit stop, so... Oh, and Mikey's run wide. He's lucky to rejoin, still ahead of Paskov there, but he's lost crucial ground to Romans Republic, so Romans Republic may decide to wait another lap before he chooses to come in for a pit stop, but we'll wait and see. He's taking a tight entry into 15, so he may decide to come in this lap. No, he's not. He's going to stay out there for the time being. And Murphy passes the Aston Martin of Becco before turn 1 to put his Alfa Romeo up to 8th place now behind his teammate. And Paskov moving in front of Arjun there. Arjun got ahead for a moment, but Paskov still kept his foot in there and remained in front. So Mikey still in 3rd place behind Romans Republic. He's now losing a bit more time on Doridigo at the moment. And Zach receives another penalty for track limits, so his race goes from bad to worse, unfortunately. He's still on the lead lap at least. And Romans Republic decides to stay out there for another lap as Mikey closes in a bit more now. He's not going to be close enough to have a go before turn 1, so... Murphy trying to get in front of his teammate who backs off. Ooh, and it was quite a drop in speed there from Bowie. And it looks like Zach has gone for a spin at turn 8, but has continued. And we can see a move there from what looks like Arjun on the inside of Puskov. They do bang wheels, but nothing too dramatic. Arjun on the outside, but Puskov nearly took him out there and had to leave him room for him to get past. So Arjun with a brilliant overtake to put himself up into 4th position ahead of the Aston Martin. Now here's Mikey behind the Haas. What is Roman's Republic going to do here? Is he going to duck into the pits and get a set of mediums on, perhaps? I think that is what must be going through his mind at the moment. He's losing a second a lap on De Rudiger now, is Roman's Republic. So if I was him, I'd think about pitting in at the end of this lap. And he is going to do so. So Roman's Republic is in. And so is Pimis now. Very likewise. Both of them slowing down to their marks. So the pit lane starts to get busy now. So Roman's Republic comes in. And out he goes. He should rejoin ahead of Sam, who's coming down the pit straight. And Zach is pointed the wrong way for too long, and he's been disqualified from the race. So Zach is the first retirement of this Portuguese Grand Prix. There's Pimis rejoined behind Sam, and Joe just getting ahead there of Bury, who rejoins in 15th place. The Zach goes no further in this one, unfortunately. He's out of the race. So De Rudiger in full command in the race, but he's been given a time penalty for track limits, which, as it stands, would make no effect to his race finishing position. He's got 7.5 seconds in hand over Mikey, but bearing in mind, Roman's Republic has just been in the pits, and he's got clear track in front of him as Becco gets past Murphy, who's gone off track in the Alfa Romeo. That's a bad mistake by him, considering the ground he's made up. He rejoins without causing any mayhem, but he's lost a lot of time thanks to that. And there we can see Arjun moving into 2nd place ahead of Mikey. And Mikey running off track there. We won't want to be doing that too many times, otherwise there'll be another penalty coming his way. Liverpool fan into the pits for McLaren. On go the mediums. Now, can he get out in front of the likes of Joe, Pimis and Bury? I think it's going to be very tough for him to do so. He's only just gone past the Williams garage now, so I think Liverpool fan is going to rejoin behind these 3. So Bury gets back through ahead of him on the hard compound tyres. So this will be interesting to see how Liverpool fans' tyres will cope. So Mikey under threat now from Puskov, who's gone off track. Got the power down too early there, and he's just received a time penalty for track limits. He may dispute that afterwards, but Puskov's lost time, and he's been given a penalty. So there's Big Boss Bells in 8th place, still on these soft compounds. And Becco's into the pits now for Aston Martin. We'll rejoin in the squabble between Joe, Pimis, Bury and Liverpool fan. I think he'll get out in front of him, to be honest with you. He's got enough of a cushion. Or will he actually? No, he'll end up behind Joe. He'll end up behind Pimis. I think he's determined to get in front of him here. Oh, and Becco nearly took him out there. And Bury fancies a go and getting in front here, but he can't quite do so. So Becco rejoins in 13th position, ahead of the Alfa Romeo. So the only driver not to pit in yet, who begun the race on the soft compound, is Big Balls Bells, who's currently running in 7th place. And Mikey's been given a time penalty for corner cutting. That'll be for running wide on the exit of turn 12 and cut across through turn 13. So that's another penalty there for Mikey, I'm afraid, 13 seconds is what he's going to have to serve by the end of this race. And he's got Paskov right behind him now, who should pass him with ease with the DRS. So Mikey falls down the order as a result. There's Safdar behind Leppy in the battle for 6th place as Big Boss Bells goes the first 14 laps on those soft compound tyres. He'll rejoin in last place once he exits the pit lane. So Joe goes through, Primus goes through as Becco makes a move on him by the time they get through turn 1, and Liverpool Fun doing the same on Bowie. These two going toe-to-toe, the two of the admins of the Formula Racing League, and there's Big Boss Bells rejoining in 15th place, but at least he's on fresher tyres than most of those ahead of him. Javridica's lead is now 8 seconds. It's very manageable by this stage. So the top 7 have still yet to come in for a pit stop. And I reckon all of them will go to around about lap 22 for when they do come in for the soft compounds. There's Safdar behind Leppy in the battle for 5th on the road. Safdar with the rear wing open now, and he will go past him, no problem. So Safdar puts his Ferrari up to 5th. And here is Becco right behind the Williams of Joe for 10th place. Rear wing open on the Aston Martin, and Becco posts a new faster start, so he's on setting some good pace. Having said that, he was aided by the use of the DRS when he was passing Primus, but he got through nicely. He's beginning to put in some good times now. Here's the Bulgarian. He's had a fairly decent season. 74 points to his name, and someone's gone off in sector 2. Is that Leppy, who's had a bit of a moment? I think so. And Mike has picked up another penalty now. Track limits it is. He's now on 16 seconds worth of time penalty, which is not good news for him. He really does need to keep his nose clean between now and the checkered flag. And Mikey does decide to come in, and he might decide to retire, to be honest with you. He speeds in the pit lane. That's another 5 seconds for him. He'll probably just go onto a set of hard compound tyres now, and Leppy also decides to come in. And Becco gets a penalty now for track limits. I think that's his second one of the race, isn't it? It is. But he's still challenging Joe here with the DRS. And he's going to get through, no problem. So Becco up to 9th place then in the Aston Martin. Mikey rejoins in 7th position, but he's got a bit all to do now on those hard compound tyres. He's got a bit of clear track ahead of him, but he needs to watch for Sam behind, who is on 7-lap-old mediums. So it's not going to be very easy for Mikey to fend him off on this occasion. So there's Argent in 2nd place. As it stands with the positions as they are, if it was to remain like this, I think Rome's Republic would still finish in 2nd place in the championship. For Don Argent to finish in P2 in the championship, he would need 33 points in this race, so he needs to ideally win this one. But he's just received a time penalty for track limits, so that takes Don Argent's race a turn for the worse, and Mikey's back in the pits with a speeding penalty, and I think this is going to be a retirement for him, to be honest with you. Just been too inconsistent with the penalties being dished, and that's his race over, unfortunately. So it's a shame there for Mikey, who's been running at the top end of the field, but the penalties have let him down, and becomes the second driver to pull out. And that would be Mikey just retiring as he's leaving the pit lane. It's really good, carrying on his way. The gap he's got over Don Argent is now 9 seconds. So Soft Dart running a lonely 4th at the moment. So there's Dan Murphy, who starts at the back of the grid, is up in 5th place, but he's still yet to come in. So just the top 5 have yet to come in for a pit stop. And Pimis moves in front of Liverpool Fan into 10th place. And Big Boss Bell's taking advantage of the open door to put his Alpine in front. So Big Boss Bell's doing a good job on the mediums so far. Powering his way through the field a little bit now. He's got no time penalty at the moment, so he would move up a few positions as it stands. With Becco and Joe's penalties. It's crucial he gets in front of Pimis here, which I think he will do. He's got slightly more ERS left in the Alpine in comparison to Pimis in the Red Bull. Here we go then, on the pit straight. Big Boss Bells gets the rear wing open now. DRS open. And this is him going up into 10th place, I think, on the inside. And that is as sweet as you like. There's Romans Republic in 6th position. Murphy managing his tyres nicely, actually. So Don Argent decides the time is right for him to pit in. Now, will it be the hards or will it be the softs going on? And Paskov struggling to get the car slow down in time, and he will get a 5-second time penalty, unfortunately. Soft tyres going on Argent's car. And it's the same for Paskov. So that moves Soft Dart up into 2nd place. He's just picked up a penalty for track limit, so that's unfortunate for him. Murphy going up to 3rd place as well. Romans Republic getting back ahead of Argent on those medium tyres, but Argent is on the softer compounds. He can go like clockwork now. Paskov rejoins behind his teammate in 8th place. There's Joe behind him. But Paskov should start to pull away from him on the fresher rubber. So to really get entering the pits now for McLaren. He gets the car slowed down in time, which is good to see. Soft compound tyres should be going on the McLaren. So he'll go the final 12 laps on the soft rubber, which is very much doable. Softard decides to remain out there for another lap. And he'll have a short stint at the front. Murphy comes into the pits for Alfa Romeo. I'm interested to see where he gets out, actually, because with him staying out a lot longer, he could fall to as far as the back of the field as Paskov comes into the pits. And this could be the end of the race for him, actually. He's only just been in, and I think this may be to just get rid of the time penalty that he has. So Murphy rejoins in 13th place behind his teammate, so he's got an awful lot of work to do. I think Paskov would have been better just staying out there, to be honest with you. He's got the chance of going for a fastest up at least with all the clear track he's got in front of him. And Safdar enters the pits for his only stop of the race. Slows to the 80 km/h speed limit. And now we can see Arjun right behind Rome's Republic as they go over the line. I think this is going to be second place here for Arjun with the new fastest lap. And someone's gone off. It's Paskov in the Aston Martin, who's had a race to forget, unfortunately. So another driver's been running towards the front of the grid. He's now out of contention for probably a points finish now. He's in the points anyway, and Paskov has been disqualified for driving around the wrong way. And that is his race over. Joe into the pits for Williams to put on a set of the soft compounds. And out he goes. So Paskov is the third driver to drop out of this one. We're on lap 23. 10 laps to go at the end of this one. So Becco is up to 4th place on the road, with Sam now 5th, but as it stands with the penalties applied, Sam would move ahead of him. And Safdar has rejoined in 7th place behind Big Boss Bells, but on much fresher tyres, he's got a good chance of disposing a few cars here between now and the checkered flag. So the Ferrari exiting turn 14 behind the Alpine as the pair come up to the pit straight. I think Safdar may not get the job done here now, but he'll most certainly get a lot closer to the Alpine. You can see Big Boss Bells conserving his ERS. Safdar has got bundles of ERS left. Doesn't go for it into turn 1, but he may go for it into turn 5 if he can get a good exit coming out of turns 3 and 4. You can see taking a wider line into turn 4. That'll give him the edge here on Big Boss Bells. Here we go then. Rear wing open, and Safdar is going to get in front of Big Boss Bells. No problem. Covers his line, defends his line, and that's a very textbook manoeuvre to put the Ferrari up into P6. Safdar does have a time penalty of 3 seconds though. That's something to keep in consideration. But with the better tyres that he's on now, he should go after Sam here. So Safdar keeping in touch with the Mercedes. Yeah, he's a lot closer now than he was there a few corners ago. So this is going to be a manoeuvre, I think, here from Safdar. He's absolutely on fire on this last stint on the soft compounds already. And this is going to be a move here with DRS. And Safdar puts himself up into 5th place now. Next man ahead of him is Becco, who's 1.8 seconds up the road. Becco on 10-lap-old mediums. Safdar's only done a couple of laps on the soft compounds. So Safdar very much on form here today, starting at the back of the grid. It's the slow corners, which is where Safdar is finding most of the time at on the Aston Martin. You can see he's pretty much within a second of him now. So Safdar will want to get a good exit out of 14 here. And I think this is going to be another pass here for the Ferrari. He's got more ERS left in there than Well, I say more ERS. He's got pretty much the same, although he will have the DRS. Becco nearly throwing him into the pit wall there, but Softar's through safely and up to 4th position. Now, one of Roman's Republic will be looking over his shoulders here because at the moment, Softar is absolutely flying. Should pull away from the Aston Martin. Becco's too far back to challenge from there with the DRS. So Softar looking good for a 4th place finish. We'll see if there's any other battles further down the order. We can just see Pumis and Liverpool Fun fighting over 8th place. And Bowie battling it out with Leppy for 11th position. But he's going to have Joe coming up on him very shortly. So battles up and down the field as we reach the closing stages of this race and the season. De Rudiger's lead over Argent is now 10 seconds. Both have the same penalties as each other, which won't affect their positions. But Roman's Republic is under 5 seconds behind Argent at the moment. There is Softar closing in all the time. Softar's got the gap down to under 6 seconds between himself and Roman's Republic. The fastest up of the race at the moment is a 1:17.3, which is De Rudiger's. As it stands with the positions as they are, Roman's Republic will be finishing 2nd in the championship as Liverpool Fan gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. As we go toe-to-toe here, Liverpool Fan and Pumis. Liverpool Fan will go to the inside. Is this going to be him into 8th place? Very daring manoeuvre. Concept made by Pumis, but Liverpool Fan is through no problem. Softar's already taken more than a second out of Roman's Republic's gap on this lap alone. So the battle for the podium spots may not be over for Softar. Even if Roman's Republic was to finish 4th, he would still finish 2nd in the championship without a problem. He needs to finish in the top 8 to guarantee himself 2nd position and leapfrog Lezard, who hasn't been competing tonight. He hasn't competed in a lot of the races this season, despite taking what is 4 victories. And now the clouds have come down on the circuit now. I wonder if rain may decide to intervene in this race now. And then once we see raindrops hitting the halos, that is when we know for certain that it is beginning to rain. I've seen that Don Argent's starting to close in now on De Rudiger's incident somewhere, and that's a Mercedes off the road. That's Sam, who's run wide at turn 5, and he's fallen down a few positions there, which is not good for him. There's Leppy and Bowie fighting over 11th position. But Leppy remains in front for now, as De Rudiger continues to wind down the laps. He's taking it easy there, and you can see that Argent's got more fuel left in him than the McLaren. That could well explain it. Murphy behind Liverpool Fun in the battle for 7th place now. And Sam now getting a penalty for track limits. Not good news for him. Murphy behind Liverpool Fun here with the DRS. And he gets ahead of him on the road before they get to turn 1. Murphy's through into P7. No problem there for him. And the McLaren fighting back though. Liverpool Fan on the inside. The two make contact. And Bowie now with a penalty for track limits. So penalties dished out more often now. And the rain has started to come down. So the rain has started to come down. But it's just the crossover between softs and intermediates. Now, De Rudiger's got a lead of over 8 seconds, so he doesn't need to be pushing too hard, although he will want to see the checker flag come out as soon as he can. And Big Boss Bells now with a time penalty. So only 3 drivers with no time penalties to their names. They are Rome's Republic, Dan Murphy, and Pimis. 4 laps to go. And there's Argent in second place right now. And I think Softar's tyres may be hitting the cliff at the moment. He just wants to pull away from Brecco, which he's doing so, but not at a rate of knots, as Berry comes into the pits for Alfa Romeo. Is this going to go on to intermediates, maybe? He is taking a gamble at this point, and so intermediates are ready for him. And out he goes. Is this the right call? It's the crossover bike from being on slicks and intermediates. At the moment, the slicks are the better choice, but the more rain comes down, the more greasy the track becomes. So De Rudiger is 3 laps away from the end now. Will he brave it out on slicks, or will he decide to come in for intermediates? I can tell you that the gap has come down now to 7 seconds, so Argent's very much putting him under pressure here. Doublefan gets in front of Pimis into 8th place again. There is Joe closing in still. And Pimis now with his first penalty of the race. So just looking to see who's got more penalties than others. I have to say no one at the moment out of the 13 that are left has got a time penalty that's more than 6 seconds. And just looking at De Rudiger, he needs to be very careful here. He doesn't lose too much ground from Argent behind. Well, I think De Rudiger's now guaranteed the fastest lap because the conditions are getting worse here. So for Don Argent to finish second in the championship, he would need to win this race. But as it stands, Roman's Republic would finish second in the championship anyway. And someone's gone off, and Berry has crashed out of the race. He's hit the pit wall, and his race goes no further. So Berry ends his season with some points, I think. I think he will keep those points, but it's not the way he wants to end his first season in the top tier in the FRL. He must have lost it. He knows that he probably went too soon on the intermediates. We're now on the penultimate lap of the race, and De Rudiger continues to lead. The gap is now back up to 7.7 seconds between himself and Don Argent. And De Rudiger can see Leppi in front of him. I think he must be on intermediates now, I think. He is. So De Rudiger will be coming up to lap him now. And Leppi won't have any choice but to let him through, I think. If De Rudiger struggles on this last lap on the slicks, Leppi may be able to get back in front of him. So Leppi does let him through. De Rudiger is about to start the final lap of this race. It's been a comfortable drive. And he never looked troubled from the start. The rain is continuing to fall. So I think De Rudiger's going to have this all under control here as Sam loses 10th place to Joe, who's just gone through. He's been penalised there as Joe, so he needs to stretch out a 3-second margin on Sam in order to keep that place. I don't think anyone else is coming in for intermediate, so De Rudiger looking very good for the victory here as the rain continues to fall, but not enough to prompt the drivers to head on to the intermediates, apart from Leppi that did so, as did Berry before he crashed out. So De Rudiger, on his last dregs of fuel, is going to come through to complete his final lap. It's been a stunning drive from De Rudiger, who's about to take his first victory in the FRL and end his season on a high. It's been a brilliant drive. De Rudiger exits the last corner and he's going to end the season in a blaze of glory. De Rudiger wins the Portuguese Grand Prix in Portimao. Don Argent will cross the line in second position. Excellent effort from him. Rome's Republic is only just going to beat Safdar. Safdar's been closing in on him in the remaining laps. Look at the rain that's continuing to pour. So those who haven't finished are going to find the conditions even more tricky. So Rome's Republic finishes third. That is second place guaranteed in the championship for him. Safdar fourth. Big Boss Bells will be in fifth. Becco is sixth. And then we can see Dan Murphy, who will hold off Pimis and Liverpool Fan. Seventh for Murphy. Pimis in eighth. Liverpool Fan ninth. Joe will be 10th. Sam in 11th. Leppy a lap down in 12th place. But it's De Rudiger who reigns here in Portugal. So the driver's out now onto the podium. And that result for De Rudiger has seen him finish what I believe is in 9th place in the Drivers' Championship, which is a very good effort from him considering he was a late entry to the championship. But the drivers celebrate on the podium for the last time in Season 3 and Tier 1, and what a brilliant race it has been. So De Rudiger wins and gets the point for the fastest lap. Argent second, ahead of Rome's Republic. Safdar fourth from the back of the grid. A good drive from him. Big Boss Bells was fifth, ahead of Becco and Dan Murphy. Pimis eighth, Liverpool Fan ninth. Joe running out the top 10 for Williams. Sam 11th, Leppy the last of the finishes in 12th. Berry was classified in 13th, so he still gets a few championship points for that. Paskov, Mikey and Zach did not finish. So at the end of a brilliant season, Smolly wins the championship by a total of 121 points over Rome's Republic in second place. In third is Lezard on 165. Then it will be Don Argent in fourth on 164. So Don Argent just missing out on the top 3 position in the Drivers' Championship. Dan Murphy's 7th place has guaranteed him 5th overall. Well, that's the end of what's been a brilliant season. Thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to do it all again next season. As of when that will be, will remain to be seen, but do make sure you keep informed on Formula Racing League's YouTube channel and, of course, the Twitter and the Discord if you are involved as a driver, of course. And we can't wait to do it all again. So all that remains for me is thank you for joining us, and we'll speak to you again next season. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.